Good afternoon, everyone. How are y'all today? I had promised you guys that I was going to show you how to make a gnome, and I've gathered all of my stuff. But first of all, I want to show you some things that I got today from the Dollar Tree. I got these little hats. They have little reindeer horns on them. So when we use our little candy cane form to make reindeers, we can cut these off and use these for reindeers. So I went ahead and I grabbed like 4 of these, and you can always still use the hat even though you cut these off. So if you go to the store, grab some of those. I got some tapestry placemats. They come one to a package, but I got 2, and they have a little red truck on there with a snowman. It is so cute. So I'm going to make pillows out of these. So I got 2 of this one and 2 of this one. It is so pretty. So they're putting them out, you know, every day. They put out a little bit more Christmas, and so I hate to say it, but if you don't go every day, you might miss out on some stuff. So I also got these really cute little buffalo plaid headbands. Of course, I will not be using them for headbands. I'll be using them to make reindeers. So I love these. I picked up several of these because in our groups, sometimes in other groups, our crafting groups, we share with each other. So, like I said, if you don't get them ahead of time, you won't get them. So I got 6 of these. I'm not sure what I was going to do with this yet, but it's a little elf hat. And I have some feet left over from Halloween that I can paint and make into little elf feet, and I thought this might be cute on a wreath. So grab you some of those. Again, here's some more little elf ears with the cute little jingle bells. And so, you know, you use all these little bells in all your little projects, and you can use the little elf ears. So I grabbed a few of those, and then I grabbed some webbing that I might use in making my gnome. I haven't decided yet if I want to make a Halloween gnome or a Christmas gnome, but I wanted to kind of show you your options. So, having said all that, I'm going to set this to the side, and I want to show you what we need today. So, in making a gnome, you're going to need some type of beard for the gnome, or hair, whichever one you want to call it. So they sell these mop heads, replacement heads, so you don't have to buy the whole mop. I know some people are just buying the whole mop, and all you have to do is just, it's the very same thing. All you have to do is just unscrew it. But I wanted to go ahead and have part of this done, because if I didn't have part of it done, it would take even longer than it's going to take already. So I took the mop head, and you can see it has where it was screwed on. If you turn it all the way over, which is how we're going to use it, it's just gathered right here in the middle for this particular gnome. I just divided it. And then I wanted to show you that the difference between what I've done and what I think is prettier is doing it this way. These actually look almost like 2 different colors. So whenever you take your mop head out, you want to take these little strands. I've left like 4 of them, and I've undone the rest. So you'll take this little strand and you'll just undo it. Doing it the wrong way. Just it takes 30 minutes or so to undo it, but I left 4 of them so we could undo this. This is really time consuming, so I did most of it last night. And you just pull them apart. And one more. two more actually. You don't actually have to do the back if you didn't want to, but I couldn't find the stopping place, so I just went ahead and untwisted all of them. So it just looks a little bit better, and you'll see when we get the gnome to the point that you can tell the difference. Okay, so here's your mop head you'll need, and go ahead and undo it all. Okay, and I'm going to set this one to the side, and I'm going to show you some stuff later for this one. I went ahead and got a pair of socks from the Dollar Tree, like this. I got these just in case I wanted to use them for the hat, but I'm not for sure if I'm going to do that. I might do that. And then I went ahead and got a little elf hat, or Santa hat I guess you would call it, and I turned it wrong side out because we're going to have to modify it a little bit and keep your pom-pom. Okay, and I cut the rim off the Santa hat to make the hat band. So all of this is just going to be evolving because I'm not for sure what I want to do and how I want to do it, but as we go we'll make that decision. Now also have a 2-pound bag of rice, and you can use beans, lentils, anything that's heavy that'll weight it down. Okay, and what I did was I poured it out on a paper plate, and I put essential oils on my rice, because for me a gnome is cute and all, but I want to know, I guess I'm not a fan favorite of a gnome, so I want it to have a purpose. And so by adding essential oils, you can add lavender and set it by your bed. You can add, this is eucalyptus, which is just a fresh smell in your house. And if you get 2 or 3 gnomes, then you'll be smelling like eucalyptus. So I went ahead and did that on my rice, and I poured it into a cup. And then I'm going to take one of my socks. I'm going to adjust you just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to take one of my socks here, and I'm just going to roll it back. This is going to be the body. Okay. I've thought about it. Now this is going to be a gnome that stands up. So really you don't need to buy a sock as big as I did. I just thought, you know, the color was right, and I thought, well, this is what I'm going to do. Just keep rolling it down till you get to where you can pour your rice in there. You know what? I'm not going to do it that way. I can see that that's going to be a mess. Like I said, this is all trial and error. And I got this glass that was fairly tall and fairly small on the brim, and I'm just going to put my sock on top of it and wrap it down, because like I said, I could just see me spilling it everywhere. And the reason I didn't use the whole 2 bag in this because it wouldn't hold it, number 1. And number 2, I wanted to put the essential oils on it. So I still have some rice, depending on how big you would want it. You could pour your rice in there. You sure could use 2 hands or 4 hands doing this, huh? I'm so afraid I'm going to make this huge mess. I did try to put it on there. Like I tried to put this all down in the sock to begin with, but that didn't set very well. So I'm just going to do this and mold it up like that. And I think I'm going to cut the sock off. I've got some little jute rope here, but I'm going to go ahead and cut the sock off right where you want it. And hang on to it, because if you wanted to make some little arms, you could out of this, or even use it for the hat band. So don't ever throw it away. And I'm going to make this really loose right now, just so I can tie it off after I put the mop head on. So you'll want to take the mop head and you'll want to put it down in there as tight as you can get it. Kind of pull the sock up. A lot of people just tuck their sock in and they hot glue it, which I might do both. Like I said, you really could use more than one set of hands when you're doing this. Okay, now comes the hot glue. I got it kind of tied away. And just pile the hot glue in as much as you can. Pull the sock up around it. Don't burn yourself. As a matter of fact, I have my finger protectors here that I forgot to wear day before yesterday, and I have a blister on my finger, so I'm going to try to use these. These are a little cumbersome, but they sure beat blistering your finger. Okay, I'm just going to swing this around here and glue the other side. And the rope is still around it, it's just not tight. And you're going to use like a stick of hot glue almost on here, okay? And you see what we're doing? We're just gluing the top of it in. I'm going to turn it back around. That hot glue, it takes a while for the hot glue to set on the plastic and on the sock. And in the meantime, you can mold your little body as much as you want. Tall, fat, any way you want it. And then after you get it glued, then you're just going to turn it upside down. Now at this point, you can kind of tell that if you had a bead or something, you can kind of tell where you're going with it. Like this. Depends on what kind of bead you want to use. This hat was what I really wanted to use. But whenever you put it on here, you can see it's really big. So for showing you, I left it already together. But I do want to cut it and try to get the shape that you have all the way to the top, and then just cut it again about right where it's sewed. You can kind of tell a guide, and I probably should have measured time to make one, y'all, so you just kind of have to go with it. If you have a sewing machine, after you do this, you can just sew it up. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can just hot glue it. Just, can you see, cut that? I'm just going to throw that away. Okay. So I'm not going to use a sewing machine just because so many people don't have a sewing machine. I'm going to go ahead and try to do this like this. Then you see, you glue it on. Let me get it over here where you can see it. You glue it on the inside because we're going to turn it. And this is where, like I said, you'll need finger protectors, because unless you're using a low temp gun, this will probably burn your fingers. So just be very careful. It don't have to be perfect. It's a gnome, so just kind of guide it. Kind of put it down just a little bit further. There you go. When you're trying to use the whole workspace, you kind of have to zero in on it. Alright. Go ahead, open it up. And glue it all the way down. And fold it over. And tap it with that finger that's got the finger protectors. These things are lifesavers, y'all. They just help so much. One week I had burned my finger so many different places. And then I was doing my daughter's wedding decorations. And I, excuse me. I strangled on my teeth. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to get another drink. This is not working. I cut my finger. Alright. I might have to come off of here, but I'll try to go on. But anyway, the moral of that story is, if you don't want second-degree burns, be sure and wrap your fingers. Okay, after it's dry, just turn it right side out. Very gentle, because you just hot glued it. Y'all, this gnome is just going to be a little setting gnome. You can make it have personalities. You can make it into a girl with braids. You can make it into a guy with mustache. There's just so many possibilities. So just get you a little paint stick. I keep everything handy. I know my workspace looks really congested, but when I get ready to do my live videos, I'm not hopping up and down, you know, trying to find everything. That just went down the wrong pipe, you guys. Okay. So now they don't have to be perfect either, because we're gonna put a little embellishment on that. So now let's see if I got it to where to go on my gnome now after all that. You want it to be floppy, so don't worry about it being floppy. And probably what I would do is just to turn it in just a little bit in the front. The seams are on the side. And then just kind of hot glue it. I'm not hot gluing it right in the middle, because that's where I'm going to put the nose at. So I'm kind of leaving this little space not glued. And I'm squishing all this down, so it does look a little short. And I would have added the rest of the rice of the 2-pound bag. Is probably what I would have done. Okay, I'm going to turn it around. I might have to pop off of here, guys. Okay. I will definitely have to make another one when I'm not coughing. Okay. Can you see where we're going with it now? And what I wasn't planning on was I wasn't planning on trimming it because I was going to get the rest of the rice in there. But you can see it's almost half the bag I didn't get in there. So I would definitely put that in there. Okay. So now you can decide what you want to do. You can use a bead or you can use a pom-pom. So what I thought I would do is use a little blue pom-pom. Make him a guy. These are Easter pom-poms that I got for I'm sorry guys. I got for $1. So, you know, there's so many ways you can use extra stuff. I'm going to go ahead and put the nose on, and when you do, you just get it in the middle, squish it up, stick it right there, and you don't have to have it right under the hat right now because I'm going to put that hat band on here in a minute. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. It smells so good. It smells like eucalyptus, y'all. Okay. So here we go. Now I took this off of this hat before I started because I thought, well, I'm not going to need it all. I'm just going to need part of it. So I'm going to cut off the raggedy part. Try to cut a straight line. Okay. And you know, you can leave the little embellishment on there. I'm going to measure it. Let's measure it this way. If you want to leave the little berries on there. Cut it right here. Measure it again. Like I said, I haven't measured out anything beforehand or afterhand. I'm just going with it so you can kind of see how easy it is to make this little gnome. Okay, now I'm going to glue it. I'm just going to go ahead and put the glue on it. You can use fabric glue. I use just regular glue sticks on mine. I would love to have a cordless glue gun. Just love to have one. But for right now, we're just going to go with this one. Okay. Don't burn your fingers. Turn it around. I didn't quite get the little embellishment on the front. That's okay. Okay. Now I have this pom-pom from before, and I'm just going to take it and put it on the very tip. More hot glue. Hot glue is our favorite item to use, right? Okay. Now all we need to do is trim it. And I saw this cute little one, and I think I'm going to steal some of this from this mop head. I think I'm going to take 3 strands and cut it, and I'm going to see about making some more little whiskers here. I need something to glue it on. Should have probably done this first. Maybe I won't do that. But I saw it real cute to where they had like a little mustache. I guess you could do that. Maybe if you twisted them. Where it would go like this. So you can do this, like for the guys. You can make him have extra sideburns. For the girls, you can just make little braids. And then what you would want to do for this gnome, especially for this one, because he's not setting up so straight, is you want to cut all this off now. And just be careful not to cut too much off, because you don't want to show his body. But for showing y'all, I'm just going to cut the front of it. And I did the blue nose so I could come back and I could do a pink one for the little girl and do little girl braids. All this just goes in the trash. And there you have it. And I was going to show you this too. If you want to make one that hangs up, I'll show you kind of how to start doing it. I'm going to leave his hair long in the back. Make it look like his hair in the front. Probably would be good to take some ribbon. This is where I can't work with these fingers. Okay, we're going to take some ribbon and just make a little loop right here. Just enough to make a little shoestring bow. If you want it to stand up, put stuffing in it. So put like a sock in it or some type of stuffing. I forgot to do that, but it's okay. Just this ribbon is sticky. This is wired ribbon, so it just kind of, if you make a little bubble in it and make it stand up a little bit more, you can adjust that up or down, wherever you like it. But here's my little setting gnome now. There he is. Isn't he cute? Oh, you can't, I gotta get it where y'all can see. The stuffing, there you go. You had stuffing in there, that hat would stick up. So y'all put stuffing in yours. And then I think that's a cute little gnome, a man gnome. I like him. I don't know, maybe we should name him George or something, right? Okay, so I'm going to move this over to the side. This is a setting gnome, okay, with a sock and with a rice. I put in the sock that made his body. And I unraveled all of the mop before I started to do some legwork. And you can get a toboggan. A toboggan is really cute. And this is a Santa's hat. So the mop cost $1. The socks cost $1, but I got 2 of them. The hat cost $1. And the rice was like 50 cents. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, $4.50. You know, didn't all this, you know, for less than $5. And I just threw them together, you guys. So y'all use your imagination, but that's how to do a sock gnome. I'm going to set him over here. And I'm going to show you this. If you want to make a gnome that hangs up, go to the Dollar Tree and get this right here. Or if you can find it, get the hat that curves right here. I couldn't find one, but I did find one like this, and I took all of the wrapping off. You just start unwrapping it. It just pulls right off, and you end up with this frame right here. And what you would do is these little notches right here, these little notches right here are all the way around here, and you would cut off the little notches. So I'm going to show you how to do a gnome that hangs rather than sits. You'll still need the mop head. You pull it apart. I'm afraid to get a drink, y'all, because I got so choked earlier. Thanks for hanging with me. So you'll just pull these out. Just pull them all out. You can pull them more than one or two at a time if you can get it. But for me just showing y'all how to do it, I wanted to show you how easy it was just to start with this. Remember, we've already made the sitting gnome. Now we're making the hanging gnome, okay? And we're using, that's why I said when you go to the Dollar Tree, look for things that you can make things out of. So, this is originally just a little Santa snowman. And we pulled all that stuff off. Now we've took the mop, we've pulled it off. I will show you how to start. You don't have to undo these right now, but you would want to just loop it right here. Loop it under and pull it through. It's like a slip knot almost. And you would do this all the way across. Move it. Pull it through. You'll do it this way, all the way across. You'll do it all the way around. On the sides the same way. Just loop it and pull it through. And what you'll end up with just almost a rounded beard when you do this. And then after you get it all done, then you trim it, just like I did this one over here. You just trim it. And that makes the beard like all manicured. So you do this all the way up to here. And then you take a hat or a sock or whatever you want of your choice, and you can use the hot glue. You don't even have to cut it. But you can use, what you do is you'll pull this down over the strings that's up there. And this hat just cost $1 or $2 from the Dollar Tree. Just pull it to the back, gather it up, and hot glue it on. And by that time you'll have all this sticking out here. Let me do this top row. Kind of show you. It is time consuming, but that's okay. You can start, you can go up to this one, or you can go all the way up. I like to go all the way up because I like the beard to be really full. I already used those. Just get a general idea of how to do this. Just pulling it straight through. I know, and this takes so much time, but it is so cute in the end if you like gnomes. And this one you can't put rice in because it won't have that eucalyptus smell like the other one does. It's opening up my sinuses already. It's like crazy. I can smell the eucalyptus. It's not overpowering, but it smells good. All right. And you may want to use more than one mop. If you want it really full, you can buy 2 mops and you can just do it really full. That one's short. And it's just over and over and over again, but I'm going to try to do this top so you can kind of see where we're going with it. And if you get, like I said, if you find this at the Dollar Tree, the form, buy the one that has the pointed hat. It's the witch's hat, or maybe the elf's hat for Christmas. But that way you already have the pointed hat, and you can just put some fabric over it or whatever you have. And you'll see that. See how, well, that one got all twisted. See how it's forming the beard already? And if you had a whole layer here, and you had a whole layer here, and here, and on the sides, all you would have to do is pull your hat down over it. Gather it up in the back and glue it. And then, if you wanted to take the pink one, like I did the blue one for the little boy, the pink nose for the little girl. They make little golden glittered ones that's real cute, but this one, you can do it either way. But then you just glue the nose right up there. And all this will be so thick. Once you get it done, it'll be really, really thick. And you just push that up like that right there. And you have a hanging gnome rather than the sitting gnome that we made. Anybody have any questions? Gnomes, like I said, are not my favorite thing to do. I just never have really paid attention to them. But I had bought the stuff and I wanted to show you guys how to do it and show you some options, and put this on my craft table behind me or something. So thank you guys for tuning in. I have a lot more crafts we're going to do. I think I'll do the candy cane wreath next. So if you go to the Dollar Tree, pick up a candy cane wreath form and a couple of rows of wired ribbon. And we're going to do that and make some bows. So y'all guys have a really good afternoon, and I think I may go take a nap. I appreciate you watching. Be sure and share. Sprinkle.